find is managers who love their business but don't like a lot of what comes with it as a public company. I mean, if they have to spend a lot of time listening to people tell them what to do about this or that, and they can't afford to irritate them, or they have to go along with their trade association because, or whatever they may call it, because you don't want to look like a free rider, and there's all kinds of things, compromises that people have to make in most jobs. And Charlie and I solved that problem. I had 5 bosses in my life, and I liked all 5 of them, and 2 of them were just huge factors in making my life better. But I liked all 5 of them. A couple of them were, some people here, J.C. Penney, Cooper Smith, I worked at 75 cents an hour, and I love working at Penny's. Well, I didn't love working at Penny's, but I love working for Cooper Smith, and it was 75 cents an hour. But I had to do what they told me to do, which was to sell men's shirts first, then men's clothing, then children's clothing, and so on. And I loved working for the newspaper, and I had a great manager when I was at the University of Nebraska. Got to work for Ben Graham. I mean, everything worked out, but there's nothing like working for yourself. And if you can't own a big company, working at Berkshire Hathaway or running a company is the closest thing you will get. You don't have to spend time courting analysts who you probably have contempt for in many cases. You don't have to spend time with banks, getting money, and particularly in terrible times. Yeah, there's all kinds of, you get a lot in the way of freedom that I would think would be meaningful to me, and it might be better if you own the whole place yourself, but maybe you've got siblings that want out. Maybe there's a million reasons why you may not be able to achieve that unless you sell to Berkshire. And that's easier probably if you have a family business where people want to go in different directions than it is with a public company. But there's still possibilities there. So that's why I think if I owned a public company and it was worth great many billions of dollars, and Berkshire Hathaway wanted to buy it, and the shareholders were willing to vote it, I would, considering the way I would feel about life. For one thing, I wouldn't want to retire at 65. I'd want to keep working, and there are reasons to sell to Berkshire, which Charlie and I, in certain positions, if we were on the other side, would take the deal, but it isn't for everybody. Charlie?
I think we have it pretty good, Warren.
Led to. And Jack Ringwald controlled the company. And I knew him and liked him, and he knew me. And once a year, he'd get irritated when the Nebraska Department of Insurance or somebody would come around. And he said they always came around when the exorbitant racetrack was open, so they could. I mean, he had all these theories about why it was a pain in the neck to be regulated. And I told Charlie Hyder, next time Jack is in that mood where he's ready to sell just because he's tired of fooling around with all these guys, be sure and find him. And so Charlie called me one day and he says, Jack is in heat. And I said, bring him over. And we made a deal. Well, that's why Jack sold, and he was happy after he made the deal. And I was happy after we made the deal. So there's a man that controlled the business, but just decided these people didn't seem to bother him as much once they were my problem and not his. And you just can't tell when lightning will strike. And that didn't do magnificent things for us initially, But just look at what it led to, and then so you never, if you knew how you were going to, again, if you knew how you were going to shoot all 18 holes, it wouldn't be any fun playing. You wouldn't get on the first tee. I mean, it's the uncertainty, the fun of playing the game, the opponents, all kinds of things that make a game interesting. And I think Charlie and I are in the most interesting game in the world.